So a lot of you guys, I'm guessing, who watch this channel and watch this stream, you play WoW. I do know there are a lot of people, though, who pop in every so often and comment dead game because they're not playing, but they still watch WoW content on YouTube. Well, is it time for those dead game Andys to finally come back? Is WoW finally worth coming back to? That's right. So far, I'll be honest, I've enjoyed Midnight quite a lot. I think it's a pretty cool storyline. I've enjoyed the direction things are going. I think it's been pretty fun, but it's still early expansion. Is this a good time to come back? Let's see what Marcellian and Flame have to say about why now is the best time to come back to WoW.
Oh my god, they Disneyfied World of Warcraft! We shouldn't have called it Warcraft because it sounds too intimidating? Who said that?
What up, BlizzCon?
Not gonna lie, answering the title of this video is going to be a roller coaster of emotions, so let's see if I can do a good job at convincing you where to put your money. And I would know because all the YouTube money has finally afforded me a Bugatti!
Well, what color is your Bugatti?
As my wallpaper, woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
I'm as qualified to give financial advice as Blizzard is to make a good video game. Haha, let's go! If you have spent any amount of time on the internet lately and read comments and topics about World of Warcraft, then in the immortal words of the greatest to ever live,
Stop it. Get some help.
but in all honesty, the internet
Don't read the comments, especially on that housing video. Look, I get the housing video. It just doesn't feel like WoW, right? There's so much. It's such a different art style. And I'm talking about the one that he showed earlier with the night elf, the blood elf chick. You know, she got her loot and she's going to her house. And it does look like a Disney Pixar movie for sure. But that's just a piece of WoW. It's not even a piece you got to interact with. It's just housing. They're just advertising housing because they know the housing Andys are going to pay out the ass for all that freaking currency and shit, whatever, the heart steal. And they're going to buy a ton of shit in the game, and it's going to go back and make Blizzard look really good to investors. But that is just a tiny little piece of what Midnight is. Midnight's so much more than that. And it's what it is right now is it's been a lot of fun. I'll be honest. I've completed every side quest during the pre-release today. The new quest was bug. Yeah, there's bugs. There are some bugs here and there. I can't do anything right now. Bummer. You got to wait probably till reset. They're going to fix a lot of that shit and reset today. And some quest lines don't fully finish out yet until then. So, yeah, he's complaining about housing again. No, I'm not complaining about housing. I'm just saying I feel like a lot of people got turned off by it. And it's like not even something you have to do. You don't have to do housing at all. It's just a side piece of the game. So come back. Don't worry about it.
and the WoW community is freaking wild in 2026, and everybody's opinion seems to want to shove itself into everybody else's mind. So here's mine for yours. Actually, no. Actually, let's stop right here. Allow me to do a disservice to our own video and tell you never let anyone else on the internet tell you what you should do with your time and money. Oh, good. You're still here. Yeah, what a load of bull. Don't listen to that garbage, obviously, or we would be out of a job. But these are the biggest elephants in the room in 2026 when it comes to World of Warcraft, together with big microtransactions for housing the core.
Could I also just say that rogue fight scene was fucking unreal. I mean, as much as people, yeah, this is why they did it. This is it. The currency, the heart steal, whatever the fuck they're selling for it. This cinematic during the rogue fight was freaking badass. All the rogue abilities she was popping off and everything, it was really freaking cool. It was when it got all, you know, hee and happy and everything, and then the orc trip in and all that shit. Yeah, okay, then it was a bit, it didn't feel as much wow.
To World of Warcraft, together with big microtransactions for housing the core,
Yeah.
non-stop store mounts and transmog sets, as well as the UI literally taking a 10-ton nuke to the face that actually fizzled into a mush of, do we have add-ons? Do we need more add-ons? Can I play this video game on my mobile phone? So let's tackle them one by one. And to spoil the end here for you, we do actually think it's time to come back to WoW. But we can broach that topic without clearing out the air right about now a bit.
Some of the things about to be said are definitely going to upset some people. These are also personal opinion. Well, if you give an opinion on WoW in general, it's going to upset like a lot of people. If you say the game is good, all the guys who claim the game is dead are going to get angry. And if you say the game is dead, all the people who play the game are going to get angry. So there's no really appeasing anybody.
So I think the loudest criticism that has a bit of merit is the Disneyfication of World of Warcraft. This is kinda true. Alright, listen, if you think people complaining about the game being Disneyfied are insincere, then let me be the mirror placed in front of you, pointing that criticism right back. The truth is, Warcraft did indeed change since its inception.
It has.
It started from a Warhammer wannabe with orcs literally genociding populations and insert every human atrocity into the argument, all at the same time.
He's literally got Draenei blood on his face. That's right. The Draenei, whatever you want to say, dripping on his face because he speared a fucking in the back and he's lifted him over his head so the blood washes over him like a shower. Yeah, that's some hardcore shit. That's why Warlords of Draenor, I believe this thing came out during.
It was darker, sure, so let me be the devil's advocate here. If you are vying for that same game to come back, brother, get out of here. You were 12 years old when that happened. All of that shit went straight over your own head, so stop pretending you are upholding some stoic banner of masculinity and play the damn game, man.
I will say, though, we did recently, witnessed an execution during a quest, so there are a bit more, hardcore flavors. Also, if you didn't watch the Lady Liadrin cinematic, that thing is unreal. Freaking badass. I mean, she literally has to bludgeon her father's corpse's head into the ground. So there are some, I would say, Midnight has kicked off in a more hardcore way than any expansion has probably since Warlords of Draenor. It's much more violent, I would say. So it's if you're craving that flavor of game, it is coming back kind of in a way. I mean, Metzen did come back, and this is really the first expansion that he played a major role in. You got to remember, The War Within was already set and finished. It was set in stone by the time he came. He could only make a few changes to it. So right now, I would say the storytelling is getting a bit more war-y, right? More Warcraft and war.
We played Doom as kids,
War and
Duke
Warcraft.
Nukem, and Serious Sam, and laughed at boob and fart jokes, which funnily enough, WoW had them as well. So getting the game back to dark times
Thank you, Addy, for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge.
is a coped on copium. You never fell in love with Warcraft because it was dark. And for people that advocate for more rats as races, don't pretend you wouldn't play the game if they stopped making butterfly wing transmog so you can express the little princess you had trapped inside. You were there with me 18 years ago, wearing spiked shoulders and killing everything with a health bar, so I'm just done with people's grandstanding for a period in fantasy culture and storytelling that they didn't give 2 cents about. None of you play WoW because of any of that, by the way. You play it because it's cool and fun, and to do mega giga damage and cover your character with more purple than the entire 80s culture combined. And I am here for you.
Yeah, it's still the most fulfilling, well-rounded, smoothest playing, best MMO out there. It is. I don't think there's anything that compares. I don't. I know I get people play Final Fantasy and that's fine, but it's overall, it's just, I don't know, the combat, everything about it, it's the most well-made MMO out there. It is. Now, yes, there are issues and bugs and things. I mean, just like any other freaking live game that exists. But World of Warcraft, for what it is, it's just the best MMO. It just says, you can say what you want about the stories. I don't think there's any other game out there that fulfills, the joy of playing like this game does for me. It doesn't. So, and right now, I would say the joy is at an all-time high. Midnight is really good. I like it. I do. I like the storylines. I like the zones. I like how they redid a lot of it, but it still feels like the old zones. I like it a lot. It's much better than what Cataclysm did to the old zones for sure. So, I mean, you can just continue playing this game. What are you going to go do? Play Ashes of Creation? How'd that go for you? Shut the fuck up.
Like me, a dark game that takes itself serious with gritty characters and tragic stories. I also like games where I laugh my ass off at rats talking like humans. Do I wish sometimes WoW was different? Yeah. Is that going to stop me from playing? Not really, because WoW has goofy housing cinematics where big green dumb orcs run around with flamingos and a blood elf rogue that massacres void monstrosities for a teacup holder. And that's funny. Also, WoW is a game where Xal'atath was dehumanized to a pair of toes by the same gooners that are crying for female representation in video games. Also, Xal'atath was an ash baby. that got dematerialized by the void in what seems like otherworldly agonizing pain of death and existential dread. Plus, we are literally killing every single enemy with a yellow and red health bar that likely has kids at home, waiting for their mom and dad to sell the adventurers, kidneys to Zalathath. Luckily, my kidneys have a 50% drop chance, so they need to wait at least one respawn. Lol. How do you like it now, huh? Now you know what it's like to kill 20 boars and find 3 teeth.
Konesia, you make both of those things are WoW. All of that is WoW. WoW has never been a dark and gloomy game. I would say like there were dark pieces to WoW, old art, beheadings and shit like that. As I said before, Alex Straza was like raped for a fucking decade to make dragons. Like there were dark sides to WoW just because it's a war game, right? And there's war and there's weird shit going on in war. That stuff happens. But what I would say, to kind of agree with you, is that World of Warcraft, when it came out, was considered to be the fucking noob mainstream MMO. If you remember the EverQuest truthers and all that shit, when WoW came out, it was considered to be literally a fucking children's plaything of MMOs. You didn't lose all your loot when you died. There was no hardcore aspect to it. It was much more friendly. Corpse running was considered to be like a travesty in MMOs. Like, how dare they just let you run back to your corpse without just some fucking armor damage for real? So there were a lot of things to WoW very early on that were considered to be very newbie and mainstream. And guess what? That's why WoW became the king of all MMOs. And they've leaned into that. And surely things like player housing, and I get it, it's not for everybody. But the good thing is that you don't have to do it for one, and it brings more people into WoW. And if there's more people playing WoW, then we get more WoW. We get more content. You have more active subs, you get more shit. That's the whole point. Tomorrow, if we lose 80% of the player base, guess what? You're just not going to get a lot of shit for WoW anymore. Because there's you can't pay developers, you can't have shit made for the game. So to me, even if the game goes to Xbox, a lot of people worry about, is this game going to go to Xbox, become a fucking pansy mainstream game? I don't care. If it brings more subs into the game, then you can have more people playing the game, and you can enjoy the game more and play the game more, and the game keeps going because now you got more people paying to play the game. So to me, it all works out in favor of anybody who enjoys playing WoW. You don't have to go play on an Xbox. You don't have to fucking do player housing. Just play the game how you want to.
Between the lot of them. Thing is, WoW is just way more than it has been before. And sometimes, or always, our personal biases are getting in the way of our own fun and makes us see things way more skewed than they actually are. I am also part of the problem. I honestly don't like the super wishy-washy and weak side of the story, and how some of my favorite characters, instead of being killed in heroic action like Varian...
What a cinematic.
Just got the sad chair of sadness. But then I remember I'm a 30-year-something old angry gamer dude that can play a demon hunter with the talents Pursuit and double it down further with Pursuit of Angriness so that I can go faster and kill them quicker and get some loot. Need the loot for Illidan.
For Azeroth!
The next big criticism is...
It's true. It is every piece of loot that drops in this game also represents another hair follicle falling off of my head, therefore making me more bald. Probably. Do I let that anger me? No. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm 35 years old. I'm balding. I'm decrepit. I'm degenerate. I'm no longer the 15-year-old spry young man who started playing this game all those years ago, but I still enjoy it, and that's why I keep playing.
Microtransactions, store mounts, WoW tokens, and ugh. Honestly, I don't know if I would like the game more if the game would just be the exact same, but with none of these other things. All the store mounts and sets deleted, WoW token and Battle.net balance deleted, while everything else remains the same. People usually think that the game sacrifices something to make room for this all other shit. I actually think that if WoW didn't have this other shit, the people that are working on it wouldn't not work on the game, but rather not be employed at Blizzard at all. So
here's the thing about the store, and I hate the store for what it is too. One reason I hate the store is because I feel like all the cool developed mounts, like all the really unique mounts, end up on the WoW store instead of in the game, because they know they can make more money off of it by putting it in the store. That part of it sucks. But what I will say, if there's any silver lining to the fact that the WoW store exists, it's that it's held our sub at $15. Because believe me, if the only income to WoW was a fucking $15 a month sub, marked for inflation, that thing would have gone up already. It would have gone up. The only reason why the WoW sub has remained stable is because of the WoW store. I'm telling you guys. That's why. Plus, they've upped the cost of expansions. But so if there's, like I said, any positive to it, I said it's held our sub. Now, the other day, Microsoft was talking about wrapping the sub into the $30 fucking Game Pass Ultimate, which means you would have to pay $30 a month to play WoW. That'd be a fucking disaster. I hope they don't do that. I hope they make it an option for people who already have Ultimate that you don't also have to pay $15 a month. That would be great. But to just eliminate the sub and wrap it in, that'd be a fucking bad idea. But the WoW store, that's the positive I draw out of it. Keeps our sub low.
I hardly think someone that makes this stuff has any say on whether Assassination Rogue should have more priority damage or less of it. And to be honest, I played WoW for a lot of years in my youth without even knowing that there were microtransactions, and the game was just fine. There are two things to keep in mind here. One is that in a parallel world where you wouldn't know WoW had microtransactions and the game would be the exact same, you would like the game more. And that's stupid because there isn't more to like, there would be just less to hate. So like, what the fuck? And two, microtransactions are like Pandora's box. Once it's been opened, you cannot really close it back up. Once you give people something that just completely changes the landscape, it's impossible to put it away. It's just really easy money for the WoW team to get, and possibly, maybe, wishful thinking to justify making cool and expensive shit like player housing.
Can we say one thing, though, about player housing, too? Like, again, I don't really do player housing at all. They literally, if you go to my player housing, and chat knows this, the only thing I have in my home is a chair and the picture of Zalateth on the wall. It's just a Gunner chair. That's my entire house in the game is a Gunner cave. That's it. That's all I built. But I will say, Blizzard did a really fucking good job with player housing. Like, anybody who wants this piece of content in the game, holy shit did they do a good job. They literally went all out on this thing. Beyond, I think, what anybody expected from player housing, the customization, the insane things people have made. I saw somebody make Diagon Alley in the fucking game. Insane. Literally by clipping shit together, and it's crazy what you can make. So for anybody who wants housing, oh man, this is going to be a great game for you. And anybody who doesn't, don't fucking touch it. Make a Gunner cave like me and leave it be.
Housing. That kind of an overhaul of a system is likely hard to justify to the board of investors and definitely impossible to happen in a world of the Bobby Codex. At least that's how I like to think about it. Whether I endorse it, it's another thing. Also, side note, Blizzard wouldn't make a single microtransactions if everybody stopped buying microtransactions, so...
People are buying them. Yeah, people are buying them.
The reality is, as far as running a live service game for over 20 years, WoW's doing an amazing job when you think about a lot of other big-name games that just have fallen over the years. You might think WoW is the same, and you would be wrong. Just because you don't like WoW doesn't mean the game is dead. WoW is a cash cow still for Blizz, and a lot of players still play it. Maybe not like in 2008, but who still plays games like it's 2008? And that is basically addressed with Midnight. To be fair, it has been slowly creeping into...
It's so true. Like, I looked at Twitch the other day, and I was looking at the top 5, and me and my friend were talking about it. We were like, look at the top 5 games. There's 2 games in the top 5 that have been around for 20 plus years. The others were like, it was just chatting, and I forgot what the other category was, some new game. The 2 games that were in the top 5 of Twitch that were that old were World of Warcraft and Counter-Strike. Literally, that was it. The rest of like the top 10 was not. League of Legends was in there. I don't know how old you would consider League of Legends is at this point. Yeah, or that. I don't know how old it is at this point, but certainly not as old as WoW is, obvious, or Counter-Strike. But it's crazy how old this game is and how it's still going.
To the game since Dragonfly, really, but it's easier to condense it all in Midnight, plus it's the expansion that just launched, so... Because it isn't 2008 anymore, we have player housing, delves, and the praise system. These are World of Warcraft content added to appeal to different kinds of players. Housing is clearly for those who just want to take their immersion and love of the world to another level. On top of it being ridiculously addictive, it connects with literally every single activity in the game. Are you a raider? You can collect housing decor. Are you a crafter? You can make it. Achievements can earn them, dungeoneers can grind them, and so on. But maybe you don't have the time to do all of that because, you know, it's now 2008. No problem, delves. These are the dungeons we always...
Delves are literally made for an aging WoW player base. I talk about it all the time. Who the fuck is Greg from accounting? Greg is a representation. He's a real person, but he's also a representation of all the older WoW players out there who've got a wife and kids and a mortgage and a job and all this other shit going on, but they still want to play WoW. They still want that escapism of WoW, and they want to keep up with the gear grind a little bit, but they don't have time to raid and shit or run a Mythic Plus dungeon. He entered Delves, man. They literally made Delves the best way to keep up with gear casually. And it's a fun piece of content, actually, too. You don't got to know anybody. You can run that shit solo or run it with friends. And now they're bringing labyrinths into the game, which is like a progression thing all week long. You just progress through your labyrinth. Amazing stuff. This is great shit, and I think it's been a great add to the game overall.
Dreamt we could solo back in the day of doing welling caverns with a bunch of potatoes that forgot tanks need to wear shields. Solo content, grindable gear, achievements and cosmetics. And best yet, it's not easy. Higher tiers actually get challenging, and as opposed to raids and dungeons, once you get the gear you can absolutely destroy these tiers, and I think this has been missing from WoW for quite some time. Sure, I don't want to be a god on Azeroth wiping the floor with everyone, but raids never seem to become trivial once we are max item level biz gear. Dungeons never stop scaling. So the content we have that will truly let us feel the player power exploding are delves and the like. And praise. Because how about we take all that shit outside, huh? Prey is like Delves, in the sense that difficulty is kind of similar, and the rewards are definitely similar. Prey ties into you doing world quests, farming treasures, mining and herbing, grinding renown and reputations, and you get sweet loot with some cool new combat mechanics to make you feel like the world is really alive. But there is one more thing people might still be on the fence about. The WoW revamp, the rework, WoW 2.0, which really should be 4.0, but I'm not gonna open that door yet. Although the classes got pruned, raids and dungeons simplified, most people focus on the most visually impactful change, which is the UI and the general state of add-ons. I won't lie to you.
I like it. I like it. I don't know. It's an unpopular opinion, maybe, but I like it. I love not update. I haven't opened up CurseForge in a month, man. I don't update add-ons anymore. I just literally log into the game, play it as is. I just raw dog WoW. That's what I do every day now. And it's great. I think it's great. And maybe there's a simplification of some shit. Yeah, but overall, I still think it takes a lot of skill. As a Blood DK, I still think you got to know shit. You got to know when to damage mitigate properly, when to hit that hard strike to heal properly. There's still a mini game to playing my class specifically. And I still appreciate the difficulty of it. And I like it. I think it's well balanced right now. I do.
It's a shit show right now, but not as bad as people make it, and of course,
no, it's not as bad
that's always the case, but definitely not ideal.
Are there things that still need to be put into the game because add-ons were basically removed? Yes, there are. There's still things that need to be put in the game. Specifically for healers, I know there's a lot of call-outs to that, and Blizzard actually unveiled or re-released the ability to track certain things for healers so they can use add-ons again for a little bit, and they said they're doing that until they get the shit in the game properly. Good. Good. I hope they get all the shit in the game eventually.
We had multiple videos on this topic, so we'll keep it short. WoW needs this. It needs to be simplified because it became ridiculous, and the War Within proved it. No more of that, thank you very much. The problem is, this should have happened over the course of several expansions, not just in Midnight. This level of enterprise, to simplify the game so much where combat reading add-ons are no longer required, requires groundwork and, hate using the word, a re-education of the WoW gamer. Like it or not, the player has been conditioned to look out for add-on prompts and listen to their alerts in order to deal with mechanics.
Yeah.
And no time was that ever more painfully obvious than in the last few weeks. People incapable of playing without an add-on telling them to press their button and when to press their button and what button to press are struggling hard. They are making 3 add-ons to replace the one that they lost. And that's not 100% on them. All I'm saying, this is a necessary evil in order to get to a game that's really good and approachable to that friend that you've been trying to convert for years. It sucks that you have to suffer through an incomplete project and jump through more hoops than before. A game shouldn't have to do this. I agree. You pay the money, you play the good game.
Should get a finished
but WoW
product,
isn't
yeah.
just any game. It isn't for me and it isn't for you, is it? It has history, it has nostalgia, it has us at 15 shutting down the monitor when our parents walk into our bedroom at midnight, still technologically challenged to tell that the monitor still has some leftover phosphor decay. So I choose to bear with it.
True.
Not because I'm blissfully ignorant to the bad shit, waiting for the good, but because the good is indeed coming, and there is enough good in the game to keep me hooked. And if that didn't convince
Same.
you, how about 3 new raids at release? 1 big one, 2 mini ones, and another mini raid in 1207.
Yes.
With multiple raids coming in
Excited for
Season
this.
2, the landscape of Endgame is changing. All of this is made possible because the game can be simplified, as such encounters are lighter to play and make. So now we get more of them. And this is just the beginning. As with everything WoW had over the years, we are testing the first iteration of these decisions, with the good ones sticking around and being improved upon.
Right.
As content creators, we are biased, and we will forever be, since our investment into the game will be different than yours. But also, we are uniquely connected to the development of the game, since we have paid very close attention to how it changed over the years. At least for us, from Legion onwards.
What up everybody, welcome to another video. This is Marcillian.
We have been through the backlash of Worlds of Draenor and BFA. We have treaded the deserts of
We've been through a lot of
Shadowlands,
shit.
Korthia, and the Maw, and have swallowed bile at Chromie 100,000 multiple old dragon.
Oh man, like this is just Dragonflight summarized right here. Look at that. Chromie hugging the leg of God, what's his name? The fucking bronze dragon. Yeah, this was Dragonflight's story was alright. I'm telling you guys, this midnight storyline so far is the best we've had in quite a while. It is. I like it a lot. Basically, I mean, Shadowlands, Shadowlands was fucking horrible. Then Dragonflight, and then the War Within. It's all been kind of like me. But Midnight to me has been fantastic. The story, I could tell Metzen's back. That's all I'm saying. I could tell Metzen's back for sure.
And behaving like an infantile child while wondering whatever the fuck this shit is. And still,
that,
we are here because playing a Death Knight is cool as balls. I like making stuff shatter into a million frosty pieces. And in all that is holy and unholy, I swear I will pickpocket every single ogre in this place before I'm done looting their corpses. Midnight is coming with a lot of cool features. We already have a video guide on all of it. And the things that have been announced are so cool that we cannot wait to see where it will end up. Are we still cautiously optimistic? Always. But we will at least do that in a +10 Skyreach, crying our asses off when another one gets carried by the bird off the platform. Lol. Should you come back to WoW? We definitely think so. It's not the game you used to know, but that's okay, since that game is over there in the classic side. But if you want a taste of modern WoW without losing your mind over all of this stuff that you've missed and need to learn, this is the time to come back.
Yeah.
In the end, WoW is fun, and it has parts in it that I do not like. Once upon a time, I liked everything WoW had to offer. But I grew older, and my tastes have refined over the years, and there isn't room for a lot more than what is already in. Does that mean the game is dead? Does that mean it's over? Does that mean Metzen finally lost it?
No.
No. But the internet has, because the internet stopped talking about what's fun in a video game and started talking about what the message is, how the message is presented, what color is the message, and did the message bathe earlier today? Who the fuck cares? Play it if you like it, don't if you don't. I'm gonna go level up my rogue and hunt some prey later.
Yeah, and look, the whole add-on removal and all that other shit in the current state of the game, guess what? It is really good for new players. I will say, I've already had some people come back, because I'm like I'm a fucking leech, like a disease. I'm spreading around, and I keep telling all my buddies to come back to the game, and some of them actually have, and the ones who have, they said that new catch-up thing where it like deletes all your old quests and gets you ready, the returning player quest line and the new player quest lines, they're all really good. Everyone said they're like a nice intro to the game, and the removal of add-ons, all of them liked it. They were like, oh, thank God I don't got to worry about like what add-ons to download, what new add-ons I need. You just go into the game and you start playing. It's such a good experience for new and returning players, probably the best it's ever been. And the story, like I said before, is getting much, much better. So overall, yeah, is WoW in a good spot? I think so. Is it going in a good direction? Yeah, I think so. Player housing pisses people off. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all. Nice video from Marcelian.